Hey guys, this is Kenneth from the Mixtape Chef. Welcome back. Today is Brew Day. I'm gonna make my homemade beer, and just gonna take you along for the journey. So I've been exploring this series of beer called they call it the Smash beer. It's called Single Hop and Single Malt. It's a kind of bit like how wines have single varietal, and this is the single varietal for beers. So beer is normally a blend of different kind of malts and different kind of hops to sort of get the perfect blend, but in this kind of beer called Smash, we have one single malt and one single hop. So it's sort of for me to sort of explore different kind of flavors and of different malts and different hops before you learn how to blend them and make a better beer. So today we're gonna making a very simple classic beer, just to bring out the most of it. It is of pale ale malt and of Cascade hops. So how do you go about making something as simple as two ingredients and making it good is what I'm always very curious about. So yeah, follow us for the journey. So there are three main things that we do on Brew Day. One is called the mash. It is sort of to get the sugar out of the malt. Second step is called the boil, which we have to sort of incorporate the hops and the flavors. There's a whole series of timings that goes behind it. The quantity to control the amount of aroma as well as the bitterness. And lastly, it's called the chilling. That means bringing down from a hot liquid down to a cold liquid before it can be fermented. And after it's fermented, we're going to do a dry hop stage, which means to give it extra aroma, because this is after a very aromatic pale ale. And lastly, the fifth stage is actually to bottle it or for secondary fermentation. And the final stage is just to drink and enjoy. Right. Subscribe if you have not. If you like this kind of series, let me know. Put like, smash like, and subscribe if you have not. And follow us for today's Brew Days journey. Come along. How complex beer making is. So here we have a software that talk about the original gravity, the final gravity, the alcohol percentage, IBUs. I mean, it goes even further down to like hop schedule, even your water profile. Do not go into beer making if you're not into science. This is a website called Brewer's Friend. Oh my goodness, it's very complex. Different kinds of mashing. Today I'm going to use the brew in the bag method. And here I have my sous vide machine working way too hard to heat up 25 liters of water here. Straight from the tap, Singapore, full of your new water and stuff. Singapore style water. I mean, of course it affects the flavor, but yeah. So I'm gonna show you what a brew in the bag means in a bit. About making beer is that sanitation is bloody important, because these are stuff that's been fermenting. You want it to be fermenting on the right stuff and not the wrong stuff. Everything has to be sanitized, and yeah. So this is sort of a sanitizer liquid, food safe, that we are sanitizing all the equipments inside. Clean, clean, clean. When we say that we are brewing in a bag, we are really making your mash is a bit like making a soup. We're putting on the malt. This is malt. This is barley that's been malted and they've been cracked. And just gonna put in the bag, as simple as it is. Oh, smells so good. And here we had it, 5 kilos of malt. So there are many methods to making. One, there's another whole method called mash and what's it called, spurge. But I'm just using a brew in a bag method because for an apartment like us, it's just much easier to sort of make everything in one bag. The only thing that you have to do this is that you need the extra large size pot compared to like 2 or 3 equipment. So brew in the bag is not as efficient as I think I understand, but it's just space efficient. We're just gonna wait for the temperature to come up to temp, and then we're gonna drop this in and extract all the sweetness from the malt. Okay. Please do not overflow. Please do not overflow. Please do not overflow. And now we just let it steep for an hour. What's happening? All the enzymes is gonna be pulled out, and it's gonna be a sweet little liquid. Just from those malts alone, it's gonna be sweet, and that's what's gonna become beer. Alright, we're about half an hour in. You can see that the liquid has taken a very nice color. And this is the sweet liquid they call the wort. This is the sweet liquid that we're going to become our luscious beer. Looking really nice. We're almost done here. Smells like oatmeal. Okay, here it's a fancy thing called refractometer. This is used to measure the sugar content in the juice. So we're going to measure the sugar to make sure that we have the right amount. Yeah, you can see. Ta-da! So it's at 1.2. Now I think we need to push it up to about 1.4. Okay, it's been an hour. So we're just going to remove the back. So there's still a lot of sugars left in between the grains. We're trying to get as much out as possible. Just sort of dunking it to make sure that all the sugars are released.
And we're starting now.
Okay, now with the wort done, we'll go to stage 2. It's called the boil. Now I want to bring this up to a boil. It's gonna take a while. Wort is coming to a boil. We're gonna work out a hop schedule. Hop schedule is a series of hops addition in terms of quantity and time, which affects the bitterness and the whole aroma. So we have a hop schedule for this, so we're going to measure it out. This is how hops looks like. Little green pellets of leaves. They smell like weed, but this is what makes this as salt and pepper to any cooking. It's essential to beer making, and it smells amazing. So we're going to measure it out. So anything that you put at the start will become bitter. Anything that you put at the back will become aromatic. So we have a whole hop schedule here to make sure that we have a bitter beer, but also make sure we have a very aromatic beer as well. The hop schedule. It's almost time to cool. We have here an immersion chiller. We're gonna put it to sanitize it in the boiling water. So what's gonna happen with our ice box here? There's a pump inside. Ice cold water is gonna go inside the chiller, cool it down, and hot water comes out, and the whole thing is just regenerates itself. I'm gonna hook it up. Oh shit. See, whatever water inside comes out because last stage, to chill. So cold water go in here, the coils, and the hot water comes out like the ice. Science, bitch. Look at you. We're at the last stage right now. We need to transfer from the brew kettle to the fermenter via this thing called the auto siphon. There's a pressure and it will just transfer from a high ground to a low ground. And this is the part where it always potentially gets very messy. So one out of this, right now the auto siphon is actually sucking out the beer, following the pipe all the way down the fermenter. At this next stage, we need to, before we drop the yeast in, we just need to aerate the beer. And no better way to do this than a whisk. Okay, so it's been 7 days now and we're gonna drop in our hops in. This has got a dry hop stage. I'm just gonna give it a burst of aroma. You know how some beers, when you smell it, there's this huge burst of aromas? It's because they do a second stage of hopping. It's called a dry hop. And we're gonna drop in right now. Ah, it smells so good. Look. Oh beer. That's it. Bottling day. How are you guys? Okay, so it's about 2 weeks now. We're gonna bottle today. Just gonna check the amount of sugar that's left to make sure that we have completed our fermentation. Maybe it's not ready. But well, anyway, we have to bottle tonight because there's no more time. Okay, so after many months we can finally taste the fruits of our labor. Here we have the Pale Ale with Cascade. Cascade is a very beautiful aroma. It's very classic Pale Ale. Very citrusy notes. Delicious. Delicious. And next we have Pale Ale with Citra. Alright, here we have the Pale Ale malts with Citra. It's a very different kind of citrus nose, but I think Citra has a much more stronger nose, but it's also more bitter. So we age our beers. It seems like Citra tastes much better fresh and not as good aged, whereas Cascade really comes alive if you age it, the longer you age it. And so you have it. 2 beers, 2 smash beers, and hope you enjoy it. See you. Cheers.